If society won't punish the guilty, he will. This is Marvel from the past, The Punisher. Hello fellow followers and welcome to FanZcene. Today on Marvel from the past, I will be talking about the 1989 film, The Punisher, starring Dolph Lundgren. I guess that's how you say the name. I actually really like this movie. I think I like this movie a little more than I like the Captain America movie I discussed in the last video. Whereas the Captain America movie was cheesy and a bad movie, but it's one of them cheesy bad movies that you saw as a kid, that I saw as a kid, and I really liked and still really like today, even though I know it's not a great movie. This Punisher movie, I believe, is a really great movie. Personally, it's a really great old school action flick. Dolph Lundgren plays a great Punisher. You know, he's Frank Castle. His family is killed in a car bombing, and in this, he's a police officer. He's not a soldier or anything like that, but he's a police officer and a detective, and he's been investigating the mob and everything. So they blow up his family and trying to kill him at the same time. Then they do think they kill him, and he goes underground into the sewers, and he becomes the Punisher, and he starts killing all these mafia bosses and all these mafia families and whatnot, a la the Punisher. And meanwhile, his partner that he had on the force, played by Louis Gossett Jr., gets a new partner, and she thinks the Punisher's Frank, and I believe he doesn't think it's Frank, because he don't believe his friend could do this, but we all know he is. Frank Castle is the Punisher doing all this, and so he goes around out and about, killing all these mafia dudes, and meanwhile, his old partner and his new partner, and this old partner's new partner, is investigating the Punisher and everything he's doing. And meanwhile, I believe the Yakuza comes in, led by this Japanese woman who wants to take over, the Italian mafia where they live in their city, and they don't want to comply. So they start kidnapping the children of the mafia bosses, and so the head mafia boss guy ends up going to try to find the Punisher to get him to help him rescue their kids from the Yakuza, from this woman and whatnot. And so he agrees, and so they storm this mansion where they're holding the kids, and they go in, and they take care of everybody. Punisher, blood, action, violence, awesomeness. And the Punisher saves the kids and everything, and then they take care of the woman, and it comes down to the Punisher and the head of the mafia guy, right? So they get into a fight, and the Punisher ends up killing him because he's a Punisher. That's what he does. This guy is still a bad guy, and the Punisher knows that this guy is responsible for the death of Frank Castle's family, his family. So he takes him out. And that kid, the mafia guy's son sees him do this, and he gets a gun and he points it at the Punisher, and he can't do it, because this guy just saved his life and all these other kids' life, but then he just killed his father, and the kid doesn't really know what his father did, and the Punisher, I believe he tells him come find me when you're ready, and he walks past the kid, and he leaves, and and his partner, Frank Castle's old partner, Louis Gossett Jr., and this woman, they come in, they see they get, they investigate it. I believe he does have a scene with Louis Gossett Jr., and, they don't really work it all that well, and he goes back into the sewers, and, this movie is actually a really good movie. It's a really good action flick, if you like it. Dolph Lundgren's really good in this movie. I think it's a really good movie. It's pretty good, close to the Punisher's story, I think. The only real knock I give this movie is that they wouldn't let him wear the skull, Punisher skull on any of his shirts or any vests or anything like that. I don't know why. Once again, these old Marvel movies and superhero movies, they were afraid of the comic bookness of the comic book they're basing their movie off of. So, there's characters in this that remind me of characters from the Punisher comics and whatnot. He's got this guy in the movie he's an old drunk man who works for the Punisher. He's like a snitch for him and whatnot. Kind of reminds me of maybe what Micro is to Punisher. I'm not sure if Micro was around in '89 he might have been, but I mean, by no means is this drunken old man like Micro, but he reminded me of what Micro is to the or was to the Punisher. There's that, and just this movie is like a good movie. It reminded me of the Punisher comic books, and it can be dark at times. It's violent. It's like an late '80s, early '90s action flick, and if you like those, I'd suggest checking it out. I mean, I own it. I do. Uh, you know, I love these movies, and I love superhero movies, whether they're good or bad. Well, okay, I love them if I like the character and whatnot, because there are some really bad superhero movies out there that I don't own and I don't love. But like the Punisher and Captain America before that, I saw those as a kid, and I enjoyed them. I liked them. They reminded me of the comic book characters I read. I see their characters within them. I've seen the Punisher within this, and so I like them. I enjoyed them. If you haven't seen it, if you want to get it, if you want to see it, I suggest it. It's pretty good. Um, I'll put a link to the trailer down below. Uh, you know, so that's the Punisher 1989 in a nutshell, and Marvel from the past. So if you enjoyed it, uh, thanks. If you didn't, that's cool too. Please like, comment, and share the video if you want. Subscribe if you want. Ring that bell for notifications. um, I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day. Godspeed, and remember, I'm not the best, but I try. Thanks for watching.